Hi, welcome to Retro Scares Recap. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. It would help a lot. A woman sits in a doctor's office, reciting passages from a children's story. Her name is Fumi. She speaks calmly, fluently, but then stops at an odd place in the tale. Her doctor looks up. Something is wrong. Fumi seems to already know how the story ends. The wife kills the husband. Fumi doesn't seem troubled by this at all. She just knows. This is Tokyo, 1997, and something dark is spreading through the city. Detective Kenichi Takabe arrives at a crime scene. A man named Kuno has murdered the woman he spent the night with. He carved a deep X into her neck, savage and deliberate. But when officers find Kuno, he isn't running. He's curled up naked in a storage cabinet nearby, confused, shaking, and full of remorse. He confesses immediately. But when Takabe asks him why he picked up a blade and carved that mark, Kuno has no answer. He simply doesn't know. This is the third murder like this in 2 months. Takabe's colleague and forensic psychologist, Makoto Sakuma, joins the investigation. Together, they begin mapping the crimes. Each killing follows the same pattern. An ordinary person commits a savage act, carves an X into their victim's neck or chest, and is found close to the scene. Confused, but cooperative. No real motive. No clear memory of why. Meanwhile, an elementary school teacher named Hanaoka crosses paths with a strange young man standing alone on a beach. The man appears completely lost, not just in direction, but in identity. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know who he is. He asks questions in a soft, circular loop. Who are you? Where are we? What is this place? Hanaoka takes pity on him and brings the man home. There's a name printed on the jacket, Mamiya, so that's what they call him. Hanaoka tries to help Mamiya recall his past, but Mamiya doesn't seem interested in recovering anything. He's more interested in Hanaoka, in his marriage, his private life. And at some point during a quiet moment, Mamiya takes out a lighter. The flame appears. Hanaoka's eyes follow it, almost without realizing. Something in the air changes. While the investigation grows more urgent, Takabe is managing something harder at home. His wife, Fumi, suffers from schizophrenia. She drifts. She forgets where she is. One evening, she goes missing during a shopping trip. Takabe searches the dark streets in a panic. He finds her standing on an empty road, disoriented. She tells him quietly that she knows she's a burden. He promises her a trip, just the two of them, somewhere peaceful when the case is over. He pulls her close to him and comforts her. The next day, Takabe is called to a new murder scene. Hanaoka has killed his wife Tomoko. He carved the X into her body. When police find him, he hasn't fled. He looks devastated, genuinely destroyed by what he's done. But then he says something that stops Takabe cold. Killing her felt natural, calm, like something he was always meant to do. Sakuma's theory grows darker. He tells Takabe this isn't repressed trauma. Whatever is driving these killers is being unlocked from within. Something already buried. Something that was always waiting to be unlocked. And the killings keep coming. A police officer named Ueda spots a man sitting dangerously close to the edge of a rooftop. That man is Mamiya. But before he can help him, Mamiya jumps off the roof, spraining his ankle. Ueda decides to take him under custody and brings him to the local police station. They sit together in comfortable silence. And then Mamiya flicks his lighter open. The small flame rises and wavers. Ueda's eyes go still, fixed on it without meaning to. Hours later, Ueda walks outside and eliminates his partner in broad daylight, right outside the police station. Calm, deliberate. Mamiya is transferred to a hospital for evaluation. There, he meets a female doctor named Akiko. He listens to her carefully, more carefully than anyone has in years. Akiko has spent her career being dismissed, overlooked, and diminished. Mamiya finds the wound, and he presses on it. Not with cruelty, with attention. Soon after, Akiko attacks a man in a public restroom. She carves the mark into his body with surgical precision. She leaves a black X painted on the wall and walks away. By now, Takabe has found the thread, Mamiya. He brings Mamiya into the interrogation room. But every session collapses. Mamiya won't confirm his own identity. He won't look at the crime scene photos. He just asks questions. Soft, patient, relentless questions about who Takabe is, what he feels, what he wants. He seems genuinely interested. He gets under Takabe's skin like no suspect ever has. At one point, Takabe cracks. He shouts about Fumi, about how exhausting it is to carry her condition while doing this job. Sakuma pulls Takabe from the room before things get worse. But the damage is already done. Mamiya has seen something inside Takabe that Takabe didn't know was visible. The investigation deepens. Searching Mamiya's belongings, Takabe and Sakuma discover he was a psychology student. His books are filled with material on mesmerism, an ancient form of hypnosis developed in the 18th century. And in his abandoned residence, they find a monkey skull tied to a pipe, the same X carved into the bone. Takabe begins to understand. Mamiya isn't confused. He isn't sick. He is a practitioner, someone who has mastered the ability to find a person's buried desires and bring them to the surface. A dripping sound, flickering flame, repetition. That's all it takes. He doesn't tell people what to do. He simply removes the lock. Takabe charges him with incitement to murder. But something is happening to Takabe from the inside. He goes home one evening and finds Fumi hanging from the ceiling. He screams. But when he reaches for her, she isn't there. It was a hallucination. Fumi is alive. But the image doesn't leave him. He can't stop seeing it. He sends her to a mental hospital. For her safety, he tells himself. For her protection. Sakuma brings Takabe to his home and shows him an old recording, a hypnosis session filmed decades earlier. In the footage, a woman named Suzumarikawa is being treated for hysteria. A man, his face never fully visible, stands over her and traces an X slowly in the air. Sakuma believes the man is Suejiro Bakuro, the originator of Japanese mesmerism. He tells Takabe that Mamiya is continuing Bakuro's work, not a murderer, a missionary, spreading something ancient, something ceremonial, one unlocked soul at a time. And then Sakuma goes quiet. His eyes drift to the wall, and without realizing it, without any awareness at all, he reaches for a brush and draws a large black X. He comes back to himself. He and Takabe stare at what he's done. Days later, Sakuma is found deceased, handcuffed to a pipe in his home. The police call it suicide. Mamiya escapes from the prison ward. He eliminates a guard during the break. Takabe tracks him to the edge of the city, a desolate, crumbling building, the same building from the old recording. Inside, Mamiya is waiting. He seems delighted to see Takabe. He speaks about destiny, about true selves. He tells Takabe that of all the people he has encountered, Takabe is the only one who truly hears him, the only one whose voice it was always meant to be. Takabe raises his weapon and fires. He doesn't stop until the gun is empty. Mamiya falls. But before he goes, Mamiya slowly lifts his hand and traces an X in the air. Takabe searches the building. In a back room, he finds an old phonograph cylinder, one of the original recordings from Bakuro's time. A male voice repeating hypnotic instructions, slow and rhythmic in the dark. Takabe listens. Then news arrives from the mental hospital. Fumi has been found deceased. A nurse carved the X into her throat. Same mark. Then we cut to the final scene of the movie. Takabe sits in a restaurant. He eats, he smokes. He looks completely at peace, more relaxed than we have seen him at any point in the entire movie. The case is closed. Mamiya is gone. His wife is gone, and Takabe seems cured. A waitress serves him, then walks to the back where another staff member whispers something to her. She nods and walks back to a table and silently picks up a knife. The implication is clear. Takabe has been carrying Mamiya's hypnotic influence ever since Mamiya traced the X in the air before dying, and Takabe has now passed it on, either deliberately or without knowing it. The film ends without resolution or consequence, suggesting the cycle of unlocked violence will simply continue. Cure was directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa and released in Japan in 1997. It's widely considered one of the greatest psychological thrillers ever made, and one of the most important films in Japanese cinema. The horror here isn't jump scares or gore. It's the question the film refuses to answer. Did Mamiya hypnotize Takabe? Or did he simply find what was already there? If you enjoyed this recap, please hit the like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel more than you'd think. Thanks for watching.